My mum, I reckon she had a rotator cuff injury probably a couple of months ago. Was getting a bit of pain when she was trying to put her arm behind her back, just couldn't do it. Right. And so, obviously I'm a hospital, I'm around TNO consultants. So I was like, what do you think? Just like you said, one guy was like, just do physio. That was a registrar. Consultant was like, yeah, do an operation, do some sort of subacromial decompression to shave the bone down.
It's weird how you get such two massively contrasting opinions.
Right. And then I sat down with actually really good physio, Tom, and he was like, he gave mom some exercises to do like more basically to do with resistance and started getting better. But the best thing that worked, basically signed up mom with my PT, who's your PT as well, Indy, and my PT. And this is going from mom couldn't shoulder press on a machine to now having full motion. This is within a month, and now lifting weights.
Yeah.
No pain at all. And our PT is very good. And he essentially just said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just moving the joint in a controlled way, adding, weight bearing to it. And it's just
resistance to it. Yeah.
Can't knock it, man. Like it really, really.
My argument to the consultant would have been, so with that subacromial decompression that you're going to do, what are you basing the shape of the compression from? Is it from lack of muscle tone? Is it from pain? Is it from she's got actual congenital change to the bone? Has she had was she born a little bit misshapen like that? There's so many aspects to that bone's rubbing against that. So if I rub that and I get rid of it, you won't have the rubbing, you won't have the pain. That's fantastic for about 6 months, but I'm interested in how she's going to be in 5 years. And
exactly, longer term.
That's the weirdest thing about the consultant, because the consultant just said, without even looking at her or doing an assessment or anything, he said the operation. I was like, you've got to assess it on a case by case basis.
There's a shoulder surgeon I need to introduce you to guys to. There's a very good friend of mine, very close friend of mine. His name's Professor Tony Kocha, and he's a shoulder surgeon at the Shard in central London.
Yeah, right.
And he's actually on the journey of the last 5 years I've known him. He's actually gone and started an MSc in strength and conditioning.
Nice.
So he's going to be qualified in strength and conditioning, as well as being a professor of sports and exercise medicine, and also being a very, very good consultant shoulder surgeon, which I don't think there'll have been a surgeon like it. And he's very, very interesting to talk to when it comes to shoulder rehab and doing stuff. He's very much hands off first. And let's see what your commitment is. How committed are you to getting out of pain? Right, go away for 6 months, do this on a daily basis, and then after that, if it's still hurting you, then let's see if we need to get in and do an intervention.
So that's the comparison again for me, Buddha, would be the patients that come in borderline type 2 diabetes, right? And you got the people with the mindset, I must do something, I don't want to be on metformin tablet, It's like, okay, well, you need to lose weight, you need to adjust your diet, but how are you going to do it? Let's make this tangible. Like, what are you actually going to do? Are you going to start learning how to prepare food and stop buying convenience food? No, people that value delayed gratification can actually get into that mindset and build in accountability. That's the key, building in accountability. If they'll do it, we know it works. We definitely know it works. But like I said, a lot of the time, the problem is people want instant fix.
It's just about building up good habits. It's very difficult to build up good habits with people. Of course.
They don't want to change the bad habits. They just want something that allows them to have the bad habits.
That's it.
That's where the tablet comes in. So I guess it depends.
And I think when we in terms of what we work when we're working with elite athletes, right? People always ask me, like, what are their mindsets like? What are they like? And I was like, well, when we say to the athlete, if you make this huge change, you're going to get a 1% change in your sprint time. Every single one will do it without a second thought. 1% for a 1% change. Whereas when you're working with general public, you're like, well, you know what? If you stop eating so and so on a Friday night and stop doing this, whatever you're doing, then you know what? Your back pain probably, won't be as bad as it is, because you'll be a bit more active, a bit more strong. But if you do that, then you'll have 25, 30 years of less pain in your life. They won't do it. And that's
incredible.
That's the key difference. That's the key difference, is that I love working in elite sport, because these people are hungry to be the best human specimen that they can be. We've got I always tell people this analogy is basically, it gives me motivation with my work, and it gives me solace as well. I have a number of athletes that will spend 4 years training a week for little or no money to be able to run one 10-second race. They'll spend 4 years training to get to a place where they can race for 10 seconds.
Incredible. When you put it like that, it's insane.
Just think about it. They will spend this Olympic cycle was 5 years.
Yeah.
Next year we have the World Championships and we've got the Commonwealth Games. So there's no recovery from this year. You got to race this year, and then you have about a 6-8 week turnaround, and we're into winter training, and then you're going to be competing next year. So this is really going to separate the not so great from the great. Right? Because when you have a 4-year cycle, the first year you're just coming off the end of of an Olympics. We'll give them 2 months off. 8 weeks you got chill, relax, do whatever you want. A lot of them won't go crazy and go drinking and all that sort of stuff because they're just not of that life.
Yeah. You know, of course they're not, because if you're so used to training all the time, it doesn't appeal to you. You're so acclimatized.
Well, you think that, Indy, but look at some of the boxers, man, and people like Ricky Hatton, right?
Boxers aren't training for 4 years, though, are they?
That's the difference. Boxers train hard, man. They can't training camps are long. But I agree with your point.
I have a what's the word I'm looking for? I have a thought about that. Why specifically boxing? Why is it that we see these boxers turn into these big, unhealthy, chunky guys? I think most athletes will agree that when you retire, there is a massive hit to your what am I? You know?
Yeah.
When you're an athlete, you have your day. When you're an athlete, you have your day set out for you. At 9 a.m., we're going to do this. At 9:14, you're going to start doing your stretching. At 9:36 is when we're going to start putting some plyos in. At 9:54, we've got to be putting your spikes on. We're ready to do some running, right?
Yeah.
So they have this regiment. When they retire, that's gone. And then there's this identity crisis. What am I now? I was an athlete. What am I now?
Well, what you've alluded there is one of the reasons why we do the work we're going to speak about. It's that their life span is so short. And again, this is one of the reasons why we approach Monty. It's like you spend your whole life to be elite, playing in Ashes cricket, playing against the best, and Sachin Tendulkar out. And then the next moment, you're not playing cricket. And then it's like, okay, so what's the next? You still have life to live. So what are you doing with that life? So you're absolutely right. Yeah, it is that. And especially boxers, man. Boxers like Tyson Fury, he went big. Prince went big.
It's like that with pro footballers as well, though. Some of them either stay strict and they keep doing it, or some of them blow up like massively.
Ronaldo.
But I'd have to add, in football, the PFA and the Premier League have put in place organizations that are designed to guide the players after their career into other aspects of the sport. So become
really good.
Become a manager, become this. They've done that. They've seen that, and I have to admit that they have done extremely well. Like when players, while they're actually playing professionally, can do their badges. They can do their badges, they can do their coaching badges, management badges. So when they decide to retire at 34, 35, they can go pick a team and go in as an assistant manager. Not a big team, but a small team to learn the trade. And you've got a focus then, haven't you? You've got a lot focus, a direction. Regiment. By the time you're 40, you've got a regiment. That's it. And so they've done that. But other sports are way behind.